Hi, this is Sharon and Barb. We are here from DivineDestinyAwaken.com and we are doing part two about prayer. So we left off with 2468, Barb.
Yeah, and we thought, who do we appreciate? Our God
God,
selves
God.
and our God. Definitely. Well, one of the things is that in nature, as we see
As we
with,
are now.
and we are now beautiful, beautiful nature, and we see the flowers open, the petals open, and just like the lotus opens, and that lotus can represent our head center. And so we want our head center open like the saints have their halo. They have a beautiful halo. And then we talk about the auric
I was going
field.
to say, so is a halo like an aura?
It's like an aura.
Is it part of the aura?
And that's part of the aura, see? And so that's the head center. And that's that connection between the ajna and the pituitary and also the pineal. The pituitary is, of course, a little bit deeper into the brain.
Pineal isn't here?
Well, this center is the seat of the soul, and oh, thank you. They equate it with that because
Okay.
it's more obvious.
Uh-huh.
But the stream of energy goes from the head center. That's the third eye, and and you can imagine it like a beam, like a lighthouse, or because that's where the perception comes through, and it helps our vision to see beyond the form here. So one of the things that prayer does is stimulate. Now, like the rosary, you're saying mantras over and over and over, but you are repelling what you don't want. You are also attracting that which you do want.
Okay, so because Kelly has asked me about the rosary. She's like, I feel like I'm just saying these words over and over. Like, what good is that?
And Kelly's your daughter.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like you're doing anything when you're just blah, 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 blah. So are you supposed to be thinking about a specific thing, or do you have to?
You don't have to. It can bring you into a very beautiful, loving connection with the feminine
Even
in
if you're
nature.
just saying the words and not thinking about it.
Because you're in the silence, and you can feel that connection, and it will come through. So even all over the world, they use beads because it repels and it attracts. And so while you're saying the rosary, as in prayer, you have something on your mind, and that's what you're going to stimulate. You're either going to ask for forgiveness to move on from it and forget it, or you desire it within you.
So you start with an intention.
When you have an intention, an intent's very important. However, when you intend something, always have it be with a good image, because
Something positive.
something positive, because that is always the greater than. So kindness greater than anger, compassion greater than revenge. So when you're praying, you can use that as an intention with a desire. And prayer is more request.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But in meditation, we are actually calling upon ourselves to do something about it. And it doesn't have anything to do with anybody doing anything other than invoking help when we need it. And
So when I've read about the rosary and in the church, like each decade is sort of, depending on the day of the week, it's the sorrowful mysteries, the glorious mysteries, the luminous mysteries. There's all these different ones, so you're supposed to focus on a certain one. And then, at least when I look online, they give you, I don't know, a few different phrases to read. So is that a good way to say the rosary as I'm reading through these things and saying the prayers and kind of trying to think about or direct my mind towards those things? Is that better than not thinking anything, or does it matter? They're just two different things?
They give you that as a guide.
Yeah.
It's like the Stations of the Cross.
Yeah.
Quick example, not to dwell on me, but when I was in the 5th or 6th grade, I said the Stations of the Cross diligently. Well, I went into church this one time. I had my missal, my little booklet that they give you, and I got to about the 6th or 7th Station of the Cross, and the characters became alive, and I saw them talk. And then it was like a cartoon, and I saw them talk among themselves. I could hear their voices. And this flow of exceptionally beautiful energy came over me. But I was younger, and I was a little nervous, kind of freaked out a little bit. So I thought, I better go to the next station. So I went to the next station, and the same thing happened. So I went right away, and I told my nuns that I had, and they knew. And then one nun said, please tell Sister so-and-so what your experience was. And I did, and there were 3 of them. Now, the nuns I had were very esoteric, and I didn't know it at the time, and got a lot into what we're getting into now. See, in the cloistered areas, they did that, and they wouldn't tell anybody. And you had to be ready for it. So when you're saying the rosary, it does the same thing. The boom, 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 the rhythmic flow and your thought bring you up to the astral plane. And it lights up the astral for you. And then the pouring down from the soul comes through the mental plane and the astral plane into your body, into your system, into your thoughts. And then you receive more and more of the love, henceforth gives you the auric field or your halo. And so the Christ and our teachers have set up for us a designated path, a safe path. And Buddha too. See, he set up the path. And so now we have the Western thinking coming together with the Eastern thinking, because it's supposed to be planetary, a united brotherhood.
That sounds like a whole other topic.
That's a whole other topic, but
we should probably stop there.
Stay with your prayer or your meditation, but you can see the further purpose.
Right.
It leads to somewhere.
It just always seemed very monotonous to me.
That's why.
And I felt like, especially as a kid, I'm just repeating these things over and over. This is dumb. Why am I doing this? And they don't tell you any of the reasons when you're in the church. You're just going there, blah, 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 blah.
They let you make up your own mind.
Well, apparently I didn't have a mind to
no,
make
well,
up. What are you talking about?
You're all in the same boat on that one.
But I like knowing the other meaning to it, and that it's not wasted.
No, it's
never
never
that
wasted.
You're not, I don't know.
Never wasted.
Okay, well, it's good to know.
All right.
Well, thank you. That was part 2. I'm sure we'll get to part 3, 4, 25.
Yeah.